Hey guys, so it's not every day I get to do World of Warcraft content, but WoW is releasing, or Blizzard's releasing stuff for WoW since Dragonflight is coming out next month. So this is like following those little artsy, not cartoonish, but the hand-drawn little videos that they do. So this is Dragonflight Legacies, Chapter 1. So I saw what it looked like Galakrond, so I would love to see this guy in action, since Galakrond is probably one of the coolest dragons. The guy was massive. He was able to fucking eat dragons and spit them back out as undead dragons. The dude was enormous, and it took the all the various aspects, the dragon aspects, and Keeper Tier to fucking take this guy down. I mean, he was just massive, and if he wasn't stopped, he could have traveled the fucking cosmos, eating and regurgitating things and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so if it is Galakrond, that's gonna be cool to see this guy in action.
This place holds many mysteries, but few answers.
Stop there! Who are you?
One who would be your guide. Tell me, what do you remember from before?
My general. A fierce battle. And then I was imprisoned in darkness.
But now, you are free.
What are you?
Come, there is much I would show you, to prepare you for the challenges that lie ahead.
This place. So strange. Where are we?
Where is less important than when. Many thousands of years ago, when our world was young, Azeroth was home to the ancestors of dragons. Primitive beasts ruled by primal instincts. Yet, there were a few in whom the spark of intelligence was lit, who thought, spoke, and felt more deeply than the rest.
What does this have to do with me?
Were it not for them, your people would not be. From these proto-dragons, there arose the monster, Galakrond. Whose insatiable hunger would have consumed us all. When the fate of our kind was at stake, we five overcame the instincts of fear and self-preservation and united to battle the Leviathan.
We? So, you were one of these.
For our bravery, risking everything to save the world, we were granted a gift of the Titans, transformed into something greater. Together, we became the Aspects, leaders of the Dragonflights, the protectors of Azeroth. In time, We took on visages like this to better commune with the younger races.
Why have you shown me this?
I am Nosdormu. I was aspect of the Bronze Flight. It is my fate to see all of time. But now a threat to our world approaches. An ancient enemy has returned. You will play a part in the events to come, and you will have to make a difficult choice, as we did.
I am not like you.
No. My story is already written, but yours, and that of all Drakthir, is only beginning to unfold.
Okay, wow. So I'm glad we really got to see Galakrond, because again, this guy, this dragon was fucking awesome. Like I said, it took the various aspects to defeat him. It took Keeper Tyr, his help. He got his hand fucking bitten off. And if I remember, they managed to kill him by getting a rock or something lodged in his throat or something like that. That's how they managed to take him down. But just to see all the aspects there, yeah, you had you got your Alexstrasza, you have Malygos, you have Nosdormu, you have Ysera, yeah, Eltharion. It just, and it. I noticed that they also changed Nosdormu's voice actor. If it was was it Martin Sheen who did it? But with his like revamped look, I mean, he looks young, and yet the original voice, you could tell he was old. So actually, hang on. Yeah, I just looked up. Martin Sheen is 82. So you know, you have an aspect who has a younger visage that he takes form of. So you kind of do need a younger sounding voice. You know, Martin Sheen sounds old, but and Nosdormu in particular, because we already know what happens to him. We know he dies. He becomes Murozond, and we kill him, so we know for a fact he dies. You know, Aman'Thul showed him his death, and yeah, he just, so pretty much in Cataclysm, that should pretty much be his demise when we... So, if we get to go back to End Time, and that's where we actually do fight him for real, where when Nosdormu transforms into Murozond, and that's where we actually get to fight, that would be so fucking cool. So, we know that he's gonna die. Eltharion we've taken care of. Malygos we've taken care of. Malygos, you know, believe that, you know, he should have control of all the magic and this and that. Ysera did die, but she was brought back to life. And Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder, I certainly hope she never dies. I like Alexstrasza. I think a lot of people, I know Rule 34 loves Alexstrasza. But yeah. Also, Galakrond, apparently, from what I've been hearing, was possibly drinking this tainted water. This water was like tainted with like the essence of Yogg-Saron. And that's why he started doing what he was doing, how he was able to eat dragons and then like regurgitate them as undead dragons. He was basically given the power of death. But he would eat them, he would just keep growing bigger and bigger, but he'd be able to spit them back out as undead dragons, and he had like this, you know, force of undead dragons flying around. But only with the help of the aspects coming together with Keeper Tyr did they finally put an end to him, Like I said, I think it was a boulder or something lodged in his throat they threw in there. Because if not, this dragon could have just destroyed Azeroth as a whole, just flown out into the cosmos and just fucking destroyed things out there. There most likely wouldn't have been able anything to stop him. He'd be so massive at that point. So it's pretty, and we know dragons can do that because apparently that's what Sinestra, when you fight in Bastion of Twilight. Yeah, Sinestra was Neltharion's mate, and all those when you fight her, you see all these like gashes. Those are from Neltharion when they did those. Yeah, it got rough, but she's somewhere out in the fucking cosmos, flying around or some shit. So, yeah, if Galakrond had his way, yeah, that the whole universe would have been in fucking peril. But they took him down, and they got, from what we're told, blessings from the Titans, given power and wisdom, kind of like the Triforce. They were given courage, power, wisdom, intelligence above everything else. All the other proto drakes, and they were given the ability to kind of like take a form that they so desired. So that's why, like, with most of them, you see them as like blood elves or humans. You have Chromie, who decided like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a gnome, a female gnome, because they can choose what form they want to take. Now I think they can choose any other form, but they kind of stick with something that everyone is used to, like Caligos when he's out and about meeting with people. He has the form that we all know and love. Alexstrasza, Ysera, same thing. They have like one form, but they can take other forms if they so choose to. But yeah, Galakrond was a fucking beast. Like, look at this dude. He was massive. And this was just him getting this big on Azeroth. Imagine had he traveled to other planets and eaten everything, because there was nothing that could stop this guy. So he would have traveled to other planets and kept eating and growing and growing and growing. And then you'd have this Titan size, because Titans are bigger than planets. We've seen Sargeras when he was, humping Azeroth. We see how big Titans really are. So this dude could have gone to Titan size, and it probably would have taken the Pantheon to fucking beat this guy. But with the power of Undeath on his side, they might have had a little bit of trouble. So, but I love Galakrond. I've always loved to see this character in action. I would love to see what his model looks like in game, because all this talk about Galakrond, he's going to show up. He's going to show up. You can't really have a Dragonflight expansion without this guy, one of the most important dragons. And just the different, I think those are all separate eyes. And having all those eyes just shows his corruption, that he did take in something from an old god. Because what do we know about old gods? They're huge, they're formless, they've got all these fucking eyes all over them. So for him to have all these eyes, kind of lets you know that there is some old god corruption going on. Yeah, see, these are like normal sized dragons. To us, they would be huge, but this guy just, he just scarfs it down. Like this, he is like one of the most important characters in World of Warcraft, and being able to finally see him in action, and get some story. And I mean, I talked about this ages ago, years ago. I would love to see a Galakrond dungeon, like a time walk, like a time travel, thing where, we go back, like a Caverns of Time. You go down there, and we go back to this age where we help the Aspects and Keeper Tier take this guy on, and like this guy, he's fucking massive. Remember how big like Deathwing was, and we're flying on his back? Yeah, Deathwing is like nothing compared to this guy. Now there is one other dragon that actually compares to Galakrond. If you go to it's a Dragonblight, and go south. In the water, there's actually a dragon skeleton that's about as big or bigger than Galakrond's skeleton. We don't know what its name. We don't know who it is. We don't know why it's there, but probably just the dev team like, oh yeah, let's put a really cool fucking dragon skeleton. And when you look on the map, you can see the outline of the. You can see the skull. You can see the horns and the spine. So it is a dragon. So this thing that you see in the water, it's about the same size as Galakrond, but yeah, the multiple eyes definitely shows corruption. This guy could eat fully grown dragons that we wouldn't see as enormous, spit them back out as undead. And after the fight, they were the aspects were blessed with intelligence and the power to safeguard Azeroth and protect it. They were each given their own role. Nosdormu looks over the flow of time. He's able to see all possibilities, past, present, future, pretty much all in one simultaneous time. Ysera is in Safeguard, guarding the Emerald Dream, along with the other green aspects. Neltharion was charged with looking over Azeroth itself from like the deepest places of the earth, so he kind of is Azeroth itself, or was rather. So the Black Dragonflight was extremely important. Blue Dragonflight, Malicos was in charge of arcane magic and the wisdom and all that. And Alexstrasza is the life binder. She's the one who protects life, and she can breathe life. And you see her breathe flames, and you can see little flowers and things sprout up from where the flames were. She's a life binder. She protects life. So, jeez. To see this dude's model is going to be amazing. Like, look at this guy. I know I'm like fanboying over this fucking thing because this dragon here, but he really is an awesome character. Lore-wise. He's the reason the aspects are the way they are, because they had to fight this guy. And I just would love to see a raid. But if they do bring him back, because apparently go to Dragonblight, fishy things are happening. But I would love to see this guy return. Necromancy or something. I would love to see Galakrond return and him be a patch boss, because that guy, he deserves it. Too often do they have these characters that just go to waste. Big lore characters, you never see them, or they get a very limited amount of time. I really don't want to have like a freaking Warlords of Draenor situation where you have the Warlords of Draenor and some of them are beaten in 5-man dungeons. No, this guy, Galakrond, he deserves a raid, a full-on fucking raid, with him being the big bad at the end. Do I want him to be the big bad of the expansion? I'm sure they have something else in mind. But I would love to see a patch where they manage to revive him, and he is just fucking wreaking havoc. He's fucking eating dragons, regurgitating, building this fucking undead dragon army, and we have to fucking take care of him. I would love that. Maybe have a little bit of a Deathwing part where maybe we have to get on top of him, but his body I don't think would allow that. The guy is just too spiky. I don't think, Deathwing for the most part was pretty flat-ish on the top, so where we could walk on him. But this, no, I don't think we could do that. We might have to fight on his arms or something. Climb at his arms and just like, try to hack him off or something like that. But, definitely, or, we grab onto him and we try to bring him down to the ground. These would be perfect for a raid group to say, grabbing onto when he tries to, spin. So, You'd have like maybe maneuver around all the spikes on him and get to a weak point or something like that. But yeah, if well, there could be the question if this dude is introduced. Also, I noticed that one of his horns is broken, just a tad bit, because it should be more like right there, but it's broken. But yeah, if they do bring this guy back, how would you like to see him used? Would you like to see him as a raid boss? Would you like to see him as the actual boss of the expansion? Because 5-man dungeon, that doesn't do him any respect. That does no. Freaking Ner'zhul, one of the most important figures in the lore, got taken out like a bitch in a 5-man dungeon. The dude who ripped apart Draenor in the first place by opening all the fucking portals that tore the planet apart, who became the Lich King, gets killed in a 5-man dungeon. Just a complete fucking disrespect to the character. So, how would you like to see this guy return? Let me know. But anyways, it's gonna be a series. It's chapter 1. So, I'm hoping the rest are pretty cool. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.